It is possible for us to be content even when we have not achieved our goals. We might have a big goal, a big dream that it's something we want to do, but that doesn't stop us from being content. And working towards contentment, learning how to be content, is a crucial part of learning how to be happy. And there are sort of a number of things that can stop us being contented, a way of thinking, a way of being. I'm going to talk about three things. There's more than three, but I'm going to talk about the three most important ones. If you can sort these three out, you will find that you are a lot more content with who you are and with where you are in life. And if you are content, you are more likely to be able to be happy. Because remember, happiness is an inside job. It's a choice you make. It's about learning not to focus on the things that are not going well. It's about learning how to focus on here, right now, and anything that's going well. Learning to focus on those things. So back to contentment. The three things I want to talk about are all to do with, how we see ourselves in connection with how we see the world. And the first thing is we need to learn to stop having expectations of how our life is meant to be. Because a lot of our disappointment, and I've talked about this before, a lot of our disappointment about ourselves and about the way our lives have turned out is to do with the fact that we have an expectation that life should have been this way, that something should have been that way, that we should have this career, we should have children, or we should be married, or we should have been up in the corporate ladder by now, or we should have an amazing job, whatever it is. All of these expectations are the things that really make us unhappy, because when we then assess our lives and we find that we have not achieved those things, then we feel less than. We feel like we're not enough. So the very first thing to be content is to understand something, that life is what you make it. You don't have to follow anybody's race or run anybody's race. You don't have to do what Mr. A and Mr. B are doing. You don't have to do what your sister, your brother is doing. You can live life on your own terms. This is very hard for us because we are brought up to believe that there is a path that we are meant to take. And that usually will be what the parental upbringing, what everybody else does. Our parents, their sisters, their brothers, their family. What is the normal route that they've all taken? So if everyone goes to university in a particular family, everyone is expected to go to university. And when you have that one person that says, actually, I don't really want to go to university, it's like, oh, what? But we have to understand that if we don't start to really define what we want and stop worrying about what you are meant to have done, then we're going to be constantly unhappy. And if we're unhappy, we're going to be discontent because we're going to feel dissatisfied, like we haven't quite made it, right? So that's the first thing. Life has no script. Just run your own race. Do things the way you feel you want to do them. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not stepping on anyone's toes. And if you are, you need to sort that out. But the main thing is live life on your own terms. And that can be completely different to what everybody around you is doing. It doesn't matter. This is your life. The second thing is learning to know who we are and to understand ourselves. This is important because if we do not understand ourselves, if we do not know who we are, it's very difficult for us to be authentic in the way we live our lives. So even the first point where I said you need to live life on your own terms. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you like, if you don't understand yourself, how do you even know what your own terms are? So that's very important, that we need to get to know ourselves. And that needs reflection. It needs awareness. It needs spending time with yourself. It needs doing a lot of things on your own so that you can get to know yourself. And then moving on from that is, once you are getting to know yourself, you need to work on self-love. Because if you love who you are, then you're going to be happy with who you are and you're going to be content. If you don't love who you are, if you think that there's something wrong with you fundamentally, you cannot be content. It's impossible, right? So self-love is essential if you want to be content and if you want to be happy. And the third thing is stop waiting for people's approval. Stop waiting for people to validate you and say, yeah, what you're doing is great, or oh, this is really cool, or oh, I really like, stop waiting for people's validation. Stop. I don't want to say stop caring. You shouldn't care so much what people think, but the reality is that we all will care what certain people think. And I think actually caring about what the people that are closest to you think is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you should be ruled by their, what they think, but caring about your best friend, you can ask them, what do you think about this? And of course, we want them to approve of what we're doing because they're the people we love. But if they don't approve, that shouldn't stop us. If we genuinely feel that we're going down the right path, that shouldn't stop us doing what we want to do. So stop caring as much what people think. Worry, if you're going to worry about what people think, worry about the people that are closest to you, whose approval or whose opinion you value. And also stop worrying and waiting for people to give you their validation, to say what you're doing is okay. Just live your life the way you want to, do the things that you want to. But in order to do that, you need to tune into who you are. You need to find out what you really love. You need to find out what makes you tick. You need to question everything you're doing so that am I doing this for myself, or am I doing this for show? Am I doing this because there are people watching, or is this what I would do even if there was no one here? Those are good questions to ask yourself to start to get to know yourself better. I hope that helps. Bye.